All right,
Hey,
welcome
hey.
everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
It is
Another
Research Rally. You owe me a Coke.
We jinxed it. We jinxed it. Ross, you missed out. Ross, you owe us 2 Cokes.
All right, so we are here for another edition of Research Rally, June 28th, and we actually have a few students joining us there in the StreamYard waiting room right now. So we have Trevor, Minerva, and Zoe and Carrie, and y'all, we are about to pull you into the stream. You don't need to have your camera on. That's optional. Trevor, his mic won't even connect, but he can still private chat with us. So we're going to work it. We're going to put him in the stream and see what happens. So we're going to welcome Trevor. Oh, Trevor, I can't add you if not at least your mic is in there. We got Carrie and Zoe. I mean, Trevor, you can hang out in the waiting room. That's cool. You can still private chat us and let us know. And
is Nicole freezing or am I freezing? Uh-oh.
I think it's you.
Oh, no.
But I can hear you. There you go. We did it.
Yeah, I think it's the Wi-Fi or something. You probably need like a Ethernet cord, or they call it something else now. I don't know. So, okay, Minerva's not connected. Trevor's not, but go ahead and hang out in the waiting room. If you're able to at least connect on one of your devices, I can probably put you in. So welcome everybody. And of course it's Nicole from the library, and also
Information Jason.
And
hi, I'm Ross.
All right, so okay, Trevor's gonna tinker and see if he can get things working.
Okay, great. Or we could drop the YouTube chat in, and they could put the link in there, and they could just kind of chill out or ask us questions.
That's true. And anyone, like, if I'll go ahead and put that in the private chat for Trevor, because I know he can definitely see that. I don't think he might not be able to see comments. So
okay,
all right.
And as we're getting things cooking here, we appreciate you being here. We see Carrie, Zoe, Trevor, and also Minerva. Would you mind telling us, either hop on the mic or in the chat, let us know like how you found out about the Research Rally? Was it one of your courses, an IDS course, something like that? Don't all jump in now at once. Okay, Trevor, we're good. Okay.
Yeah, Trevor found out about it today. Yeah.
Super.
Okay, so we got some IDS folks, of course. They got to get that credit.
Yeah, we'll get you the credit for sure.
But it's a bonus because they're going to get excellent instruction from professional librarians.
Yes, as soon as they arrive. Just kidding.
Minerva's trying.
Okay, super. Great. So thank you for being here. So one of the things that we wanted to do tonight, especially for you folks in the IDS course, is we wanted to show you where the library resources are. We're not sure how much you know or how much you've been told or instructed, but as you get into this summer B term, we do want to make sure that you're able to locate the library resources and sign in and make sure that you're able to access the library databases and make sure that you can kind of locate the hours to know when we're available and what the services and resources are for you. So we'll be going over some of that tonight. If you have any questions, you know how to use the chat, so go ahead and do that. Or if you just want to hop on the mic and turn your camera on, it's totally cool. If you have specific research questions for specific assignments, we can address some of that too. And also one of the learning outcomes that we put in the post tonight for Radar Connect, want to make sure that you're able to look at specific databases where you can find topics for those upcoming research assignments. Very important, because we have a lot of databases. We don't have enough time to get into each one of them tonight, but we can pick over a couple different ones. So I'll pass the mic over to Ross, and then maybe we can take a look at, hey, Ross, where's the library? Where's the online library? How do we get there? Where is it?
Let's start there. I'll go ahead and share my screen with you here, and we are going to share this screen, and you should be able to see it now. So there's a couple different ways to get to the library's webpage. Most research stuff that you're going to be doing in any of your classes is going to be based around that webpage in some fashion, right? So if you just start on the main Seminole State webpage, seminolestate.edu, you can find us under the Campus Life category, and you can find us in 2 places. We are actually under the Student Essentials. We're fairly essential, I think. And then student support, because that's really what we do. We are all about supporting your learning. And you'll find the library page here. And that will take you to this page, which is kind of the hub for almost everything we do in the library, is based off of this page somewhere. Whether it's research, whether it's information about what we do, when we're available, all of that stuff can be found directly from here. So Jason, do you want to start anywhere in particular, or should we start just kind of playing with some searching, some thinking about what the site can do for us?
Yeah, yes to everything. Let's go ahead and accept those cookies and get that bookmark. Let's get that thing out of the way there on the bottom. And then let's scroll down just a little bit and review the search bar that we have. I think that's going to be your main best friend. It's going to be that search bar. And we can also, as we scroll down there, we can take a look at where the hours are to make sure that even if you are an online student just taking primarily virtual classes, you should still be able to know when the library is available, because that's when the librarians are on hand to assist you.
Sure. And all of that information is right here. You have all of our hours on a day-to-day basis. You'll always know when we're here.
I don't know if it's scrolling up and down.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, no. Admin error. I shared information Jason's screen instead of...
No wonder. Okay, well, I'll scroll. There you go.
I was like waiting for Ross. I'm like, eat the cookies. Eat the cookies.
Okay, there it is. Ate the cookies. All right, so lifelong learning starts here. Can you see it or no?
Well, Ross, go ahead. Or do you want?
Okay, back to you, Ross. By the way, everyone, we are librarians. We are not,
we're trying to be internet stars.
We're not content
a little
creators.
bit out of our age range, really, our generational.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
anyway,
right, Ross,
okay.
You share.
All right,
Very
listen,
good.
Jason. If you start, if you Will, I might have to switch to Ross if you get like robotic again. But let's work it.
Okay. So Ross, go ahead, take it away. We're in this area right here, my friends.
Sure. So right there, that main search box that you come to is kind of like our search engine for the library. Think of it like Google for our library resources, right? So that is where you will start almost any search that you have. It will start right there on that screen. I could share my screen, or Jason, you've already got it pulled up there.
Sure.
So when you're looking at that, you have some choices underneath there. You have the research support stuff, which will get you into all the different ways you can find help through us, for yourself, all that kind of stuff. Then the next thing you'll come to are these things called databases. Now, you may have never used a database before. Maybe you have. But think of the databases kind of like an organized collection of all these different sources. Sometimes they're grouped by subject. Sometimes they're grouped by topic. I mean, not by topic. That's not what I'm trying to say, but like type of resource. Sometimes they're videos. Sometimes we have databases that do a million different things. And that's where some of the choice comes in. There's a lot of different ways to start your research. There's a lot of different ways to complete your research. But we'll probably look at those databases a little bit tonight too. Then we have many different subject guides. These are guides that we've kind of curated to some of the best resources for a particular subject area. If you are researching something for, say, like anthropology, there's a guide for that where it will at least point you in the right directions of starting your research. And then the last thing on there is just an advanced search, but we don't need to worry about that right now. We can come back to that in a little bit.
Right. So let's just put something in, and actually I'll come back to all of the students. Go ahead and drop
Victoria just joined us.
Hey, Victoria. Go ahead and drop something in the chat. Maybe let us know what degree you're seeking, right? What discipline or what program you're in, and we can use that as a search. So say, for instance, you're in nursing. Go ahead and type that in the chat so we can see what's going on, and then we'll show you how to start with a very, very wide search and then narrow that in. So let's take a look.
Or if you literally need like a source for an assignment. I know we have students from FYE, IDS. So like, I mean, if you need like an article tonight or a book, I mean, like, let us know. Like, we'll do it. We'll get it done. And Jason mentioned the hours and how that's when librarians are available to help. That's when your Seminole State librarians are available. But we do have a 24/7 chat. That's it is manned or manned and all of the ands by real librarians from across the globe, actually. And so you can get chat help 24/7, but sometimes, it might be like, I just want to talk to one of my Seminole State folks. So.
Yep. And you can also see down here, here's the phone numbers. Here's how you can reach us. You can send us an email. And again, more information down on the bottom. But we're really just going to be focusing on tonight on the searches here. And so let's take a look in the chat.
Well, Jan M is watching on YouTube, and Jan M said she's doing psychology.
Got it.
And then we also have forensic science, general accounting, computer science, marine bio, and economics. So
that's a good mix.
Okay,
right.
so let's do this. So I'm going to share a different screen here. Stand by. And let's go to, let me just click and show you those two other pages really quick. The library databases is one. So back on the previous page, you remember Ross went over the databases. So this is what the databases page looks like, okay? Note, 137, my math isn't so good, my friends, but that's more than 0, okay? So that's a lot, all right? And so it's really difficult. That's why you need kind of these tutorials to help you sort of navigate how to get there. So there's a couple different ways you can look. You could see here the databases are alphabetized, so you can either go from left to right across if you know the name of it, or you can take the long way home and just keep scrolling down. It's alphabetical A on the top all the way down to Z on the bottom. Or
They could also, oh, you read my mind. That's exactly where I was going next.
we're librarians. Okay, so you can go here to choose a subject. And so I would recommend that here. And so we can take a look back in the chat and see some of the drop downs. And you saw, I believe there was one. Let me go back in the chat here really quick. It's a different tab. Sorry, forensic science, computer science.
Yeah, sometimes
biology.
your subject might not be in that drop down list, but you can probably find something similar. Or if you can't, you can ask a librarian.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when you're looking here, so I think I saw psychology. So psychology, you could see the number 10. That's how many are in that sort of bracket. And as you scroll down here, you could see we've indicated here best bets. I would recommend starting with the best bets here, okay? Depending on, again, what your discipline is and so forth. And so that's kind of
requires.
Exactly. And you want to make sure that you're looking into that. You can also search for the databases here, but I recommend kind of doing it that way, as I mentioned. So now I'm just going to show you another screen. I have to go back in really quick here. Let me give me 1 second. And so now we're going to take a look at those subject guides. So the subject guides can really help. I believe Minerva earlier said that this is all kind of new to her. So if you're looking at this and you're like, hey, maybe I'm in economics. Okay, great. Well, that might be for you. Same thing as architecture and so on and so forth. So you can see the differences of the two pages. One is the databases. That's exactly where you want to start going for some of your research. And here, this is kind of give you an overview, and then it'll start drilling down into that topic. So I don't want to spend too much time on those because I want to do a sample search. So let me stop sharing that screen. Let me go back here.
Right. I got some of our topics that were submitted scrolling on the bottom.
Great. Great. Let's do it. So computer science, general accounting. Great. What do you guys pick one and we can do it? What do you think?
Let's see. Hey, Minerva clocked in. Oh, 6:11. They all clocked in at the same time. I was going to pick a timely winner, but I can't. But Minerva's came in first with general accounting.
Okay, so let's just even see. So we're back here on the page. So let's even see, is general a word that we need, or is it accounting? I don't know. You always want to go into this, not know, you don't know anything. Let's hit the bar. You hit search. It's going to hit search. Now I have to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to go back into StreamYard and share my screen. Stand by. Okay, so now this page is going to come up, and as you all click on it, go ahead and sample the search I'm doing. So go ahead and type in general accounting, hit search, and you're going to see something that pops up somewhere around here that says sign in or log in. Go ahead and click on that button, and then you should see a single sign-on, which is SSO. Go ahead and click on that. What that's going to do, my friends, that's going to log you in. So if you're a currently enrolled student, you have access to these library databases and online resources the entire term, okay? So you're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for that term. So go ahead and let us know in the chat if you're having difficulties signing in, or go ahead and drop in the chat that you were able to sign in. You want to make sure that you hit that single sign on and that you're good to go. And the page should refresh and look like mine, where there's nothing on the top of the page anymore.
Yeah, and you'll see your name. Then your name will be up in the top right-hand corner.
Yeah.
It's the full college email address. Okay, the full college email address is the username, and then the password is the Canvas password. Okay, and make sure entire college email address, including the live, all of it. Okay.
And that should keep popping up every time you come in. It should be good for that session. So like if you log in, you're there for a couple hours, you shouldn't have to sign in again. But if you log in the next day, you're likely going to have to sign back in. So
your cookies might save it.
Could save
on
it.
like the same computer, like your home computer or something. It might.
So let's take a look here, my friends. All right, so we've put in our keywords here. We put in general accounting, and now we have these results. Now, once again, my math, not so good. Ross, help me out. Is 1.3 million, is that better than zero?
Scrolled in though.
Is that more?
It's more than 0. I don't know. It's a different problem than having 0, though.
Okay, because that looks a little higher than what I was thinking. That's a lot of results. And so what we really want to do, my friends, is we really want to narrow it down because we don't know anything about the specifics of general accounting. What exactly would your paper be on? What exactly is your topic? Like that general accounting could very well mean anything. So what
Are
we
there
want to do then,
subject limiters?
well, we want to use, Nicole, here you go. Here's your subject limiters right over here. So you want to use these limiters or these filters over here on the left-hand side. And I recommend looking at your assignment and making sure that you read what exactly is stated. Meaning, if your assignment says only library databases or only books, you can make those limiters over here on the left-hand side, okay? So in that case, you have general accounting. You could see the results that start coming up. Here's an example of a book. Here's another book. And then you see that the icon has changed here to an article. And now there's a little more information, right? You see this purple here, peer-reviewed. Once again, if your assignment clearly indicates that you need a peer-reviewed article, well, hey, ding, 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 we found one. And let's just follow that train of thought. Let's just say books. So if you just want to find out what books are in the library, you scroll down here under resource type, you click on books, apply the filters, and watch that 1.3 million chop down to 2,000. Okay, but what if you wanted the books that are available right now on the shelf? Okay, let's see how many that is. 166. Aha. However, information Jason, yes. Well, you said books on the shelf. Which campus library did you mean? So now you want to go to library, and you can see the numbers in parentheses here would correspond with how many are there. Let's say we wanted the Heathrow library. That means we're going to go down from 1.3 million to 6. Okay. And so you really want to take a look, because now I'm seeing Baroque architecture as number 4. I don't know if that's general accounting. I don't know if Dutch design. So there may be some problems and errors where you go, hey, librarian, help me out, because I put in general accounting and the book I found was early Georgian furniture from the 1700s, which isn't really lining up with what I put in.
Like, can you use that as an example to click on the item record and see like if we can figure out maybe what's going on here?
Correct. So here we go. So this is what the deal is. So let's open this record up. Okay. You're going to see some stuff when you open the record up. You see a permalink to that. This, by the way, is a handy tool. You'll notice this on a lot of different library databases and pages, the citation. Go ahead and put in the chat, put a yes or a no, a Y or an N. Are you good with citations? Do you know how to do citations? Do you know what citations are? Yes. Or do you not know? You have no idea. What's this guy talking about? N. Let's just see where you're at with that. And as you're doing that, I'm going to continue scrolling down, and let's take a look and see. The word general. The word general came up. Let me go back in the chat. What do we have? Karen?
So it just grabbed general.
Correct.
Okay, yes.
Do you remember my previous statement? I even said, we're recording. You go back and listen to the recording. I said, do we even need the word general for accounting? And so maybe, let's just try this really quick. Try it really quick. Okay, 1.5. Okay. All right. On the shelf, right? Now you know the limiters, right? You could play along. Do on the shelf, and then we wanted library, and we wanted Heathrow, and then I think we wanted books for resource type, right? Let's do all those filters. How many did we get now? 37. Look at the top source. Financial accounting, corporate accounting. See how yellow? See accounting is underlined? So thank you, Nicole. This is a great example of when not to use certain words in your academic college research, because you see general really didn't help us. I know you're freaking out. You're like, oh my God, but my whole thing is general accounting. Don't do that. We're still good. Okay. We got you, but you can see where that happened. And let's open this up.
Listen, Carrie, Zoe, Victoria, and Trevor all said yes. They're on board with citations. Like, they're pretty good with citations. Minerva admits, I'm learning about citations in both of the classes I'm taking this semester, so maybe she's feeling a little bit less confident about it, but hey, I mean, it's a journey, right? Not a destination.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we did, again, we're not going to find specific things unless you have something in the chat that you need us to find, but recommendations from me, Ross and Nicole, you guys echo this or tell me I'm wrong. Look at the assignment criteria, look at your calendar, go ahead, time travel to the end of the term. When is your big assignment due? Put that date immediately on your calendar and then take a, I guess, reverse time travel back to now and make sure that you know, okay, I have to do this by this date by this date, and so on. Meaning, if you're taking an English class, you probably have to do a rough draft or an outline, or you have to at least submit, which sources you're looking at. These are kind of the general practices. But make sure you have good time management, my friends, and make sure you know when all this assignment, when everything is due. But more importantly, what is the assignment? What am I being asked to do? How many sources and what kind of sources? Because if it says library and you turn in Google sources, see the difference of the thumbs here? You're going to get the thumbs down, points off.
Yeah, I would say in general, one thing that could help a student is if you reread the assignment, even as you're going through steps of completing it. So okay, you get the assignment, you read it. Then in a few days, you start actually, thinking about it or working on it. You reread it. Okay, then you get together with a librarian, make an appointment with maybe Jason or Ross, hint, hint, to help you with the research. Reread the assignment. Just do it, not 5 times in a row, but a time here, a time there. That's usually when you'll catch everything you need to catch.
Correct. And we can help you go over that. But a big distinction here, my friends, is the writing center, the act center. Those are the tutors. They will be able to help you with the writing. The librarians help you with the R&Rs, the research and the references. So it's good that most of you know about the references. We didn't ask exactly what you're doing as far as APA or MLA, but we can help you with that if you do need help, but it doesn't sound like you need help. So again, some of the outcomes for tonight that we wanted to go over. Now you can locate the library databases. We put the link in the chat. I did recommend, and I'm doing it now verbally, bookmark that page so you can go to it every time. We also talked about how to locate the databases, the subject guides, and to do a sample search. You do want to make sure that you hit that single sign on so that you're ready to go. The SSO, make sure you're ready to go on that. Okay, Ross, now let's take a look at maybe something else. Maybe go over some of those databases, the general ones that we can use for, let's say we need to pick our assignment says, I need to pick a controversial topic, right?
Oh, yes.
Are there any controversial topics in computer science, general accounting, economics, or marine biology?
I think we can find those. Science? Let's do it. Let's try to find, let's either do an opposing viewpoints or a SIRS or issues and controversies, and let's see how we got there.
Very good. Yeah, so let's start at those databases. And as Jason was saying, and Nicole, one of the ways you can do this is if you're starting out looking for a topic, one of the subject areas we can use a lot in here is, did I scroll past it? Where is the news and current events? Not that we're always looking for news stories here, but in those current events, those kind of hot topics kind of things, if we're looking for something controversial, that's usually where those topics fall somewhere in that window. And if I was picking any databases to start with, if I was just trying to pick a topic, I really, really like this SIRS knowledge source database. And another one that's very similar to it is the opposing viewpoints database. Honestly, I think that could probably be a best bet too. But is there one in particular that you want to look at over another?
I think looking at both of those two, the third one is the issues and controversies.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I think either one of these two will get the job done, Ross.
Let's take a look at SIRS since it's listed first there. And SIRS stands for something that I can't remember.
Isn't it multiple people who have been knighted? So they're SIRS?
Yeah, I think so.
In England, it's multiple. No, that's incorrect. Making a joke? Okay.
I can't remember what it stands for to save my life here. I think the R has something to do with research, I think.
Oh, maybe the S is something. So maybe you're right. Something research studies. Something in research studies. There you go.
Very good. We made it.
Easily forgettable.
There you go. All right. So before we even speak, just take a look. You're starting to see some pictures, right? For all you visual learners out there. All right, Rob.
That's what I was going to point out immediately.
Oh, sorry.
You're going to notice that they're going to give you some imagery here. And they have them labeled trending topics and editor's picks. I don't really know what that means. I mean, maybe those are the most popularly researched things. Who knows? But if you scroll down a little bit, right here, they're going to tell us that, hey, if you need help choosing a topic, these are some places you can start. Let's say I was looking for something with accounting. Maybe business and economics is where I would start. But if I don't know what I'm looking for, you can always just kind of go into this all leading issues button down here, and it's going to bring up a list of everything that this database covers by subject area. And as if we're scrolling through here, you will see a lot of different options. If you're just trying to come up with something, you can see everything from I saw helicopter parents to bullying to extraterrestrial life. There's a lot of different ways you can go with all of this stuff.
I thought I saw homework on there. Is homework controversial?
Oh, is homework on there?
Yeah, up right-hand side.
Controversial now.
Keep going up a little bit.
I'm going to search. I'm lazy.
There it is.
There it is.
Right there.
Oh, I found it.
Why is that controversial?
Well, let's find out. I'm kind of curious. Too.
Exactly.
So if we go check out this homework subject area here.
Oh, look at this. Look at all these bells and whistles.
Reading issue. So if you scroll down on a page like this, you're going to get a couple different viewpoints on some of the main, I guess, subtopics within this. Some of the research questions you might even have yourself, right? Like, should homework be abolished? Depends on who you ask. But,
let's ask the college students.
And then let's ask the faculty.
Yeah. See, that's why I wanted to pick this one. This one's very strange.
It's very
But you can see that, like, there are two different schools of thought on this that they're presenting to you here. Number one, it disrupts family time. Sure, maybe like if I have homework that's less time I can spend with at home, doing housework, hanging out with my family, my kids, any of that stuff there, right? Like, so I could see an argument being made for that. But then the other one there, homework helps with academic performance. I mean, there's a reason homework has stuck around for so long, right? Like, the practice helps us get better at this stuff. So your job often becomes like you're especially in like an English 1 class, you're going to be writing an argumentative type paper. And this is starting to show you how you can think argumentatively about this, right? Like, if I wanted to argue that, well, yeah, no, homework is a good thing. Like, you can see, like, they're even going to start suggesting some sources here. So, does it help primary school children, or is it an unnecessary stress? Maybe you want to go there. And it's a good way to start, because now we have an article that this database presented to us here, and you can see some things right off the bat. Number one, we get our title and our author and the date it was published, and the publication is I'm guessing that's the Telegraph newspaper, because it tells me right here it's a newspaper source, and that's good to know. And then they're going to give you, most articles will have like a brief summary of what you're getting into, and then you have the text of this article, which is going to form the basis of your arguments too. You're going to be using this information to develop your thoughts on this. You're going to synthesize this information and use that to help provide evidence for the points that you're making in your project. So, we could scroll through this whole article, but basically that's a very good example of a newspaper article. And if I like this article, I have some options from here, right? I could always print it. You can print almost anything you want from these databases. There's not really a limit to that. But most of the time, you don't need to print everything. So often what I'll do is I'll just email myself some stuff. Just any email address works. I kind of use my Gmail more than I use my college email, but it doesn't really matter. Wherever you're going to save that research, that's a good thing to do there. And Jason kind of alluded to this earlier, is most of these research tools are going to help you cite a source. So if I was coming in here and there's an MLA source, great. It did a lot of the work for me. I always recommend double checking these against some kind of citation guide, because sometimes they make mistakes. However the information was entered into this database is how it's going to be spit back out to you. But it usually does a good job of getting things in the right order at the very minimum, right? So you got your author and the title and the publication name. This looks like it came from a web news site there, the date, the database name. Remember, we picked this database specifically, and then its URL, so you can find it again.
Hey, Ross, is it just me, or did they misspell primary?
Let's hit Cite again, Ross.
They most certainly did. If you're looking at that title, yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if
emailing.
I wonder if that's a misprint from
So
the
click
data.
on the site. Click on the Cite button, and let's see if it's in the URL. Does it say the name of the? No,
doesn't.
not there. Okay,
That's
and
a
then,
great example of like double checking.
Yeah, Go click APA.
Citation.
See if they do. See what APA if they corrected it anywhere.
I think they're just.
Now that's APA 7. And look, so that, let me tell you, my friends, whoever said they're good at APA, this is incorrect. This is not correct. Okay. So
I see what you're saying too, I think.
Right. So you have to have a sentence case, meaning, and I don't want to get too specific into this. This is a general overview of library sciences, but only the D should be capital in that sentence. All of the rest of that is no good. And so, but like Ross was saying, be very, very skeptical of like those citation generators or whatever. Hey, maybe you've used them before or whatever. This is what I always say to students. It's your grade, it's your tuition, it's your degree. If you want to put that into some random computer that you don't know and have never met before, and you just say, hey, computer, do all the work for me, and you're willing to put your name on that reputation, that's kind of on you. But I wouldn't recommend that. I would either ask a librarian for assistance on the references, or like Ross said, I would go right to the source, apa.org or mla.org. And notice that both of those sites end in org, and that's a good way to evaluate that site for credibility as well. Oh, so there it is. It's correct there.
I don't know if you could see my screen here, but I went and looked this up on the actual Telegraph website, and they've done a poor job of putting it into our database. So that is one of those things, like, definitely double check this stuff. You know what?
The most frustrating thing is primary or library, right? All right, we got it. Maybe we'll toss up Jason's. I memed Jason.
No, let's not do that.
Here. No,
okay. So no, let's not do it. Let's not do it. All right, so then now let's jump over to another one, and let's show you, once again, this is hypothetical. Say you're picking your topic for your papers. And in fact, let's take a moment to check back in on the chat. Let us know, do you have you looked at your assignments? Do you have any of those coming up where you do need a research topic or an assignment that's going to require you to find multiple sources? Because yes, Ross, here, I'm going to be blunt. Thank you for your time, Ross. That was very good. However, if my assignment said no newspapers, I just don't think I can use that. Thank you for showing me. And yes, the debate can go on and on and on, but it's the library databases. But the grading instructor said only XYZ. And so you have, because if you miss those little steps now, think about when you get your degree and go into the professional workforce and miss those steps. Think about if you're going into nursing and you miss a couple steps, okay? I don't want you to be my nurse if you're missing those steps. So what about if you're an airline pilot and you're missing a couple steps, okay? Let's not get into those situations. So everything is critical. If you need help, we can help you. But now let's check out opposing viewpoints and see if there's like better or worse or the same or whatever it is. So you want to do that one, or do you want me to do it?
I can talk through it, sure.
All right, let's talk through it.
Let's do it one more time. We'll go back here.
Let's check the chat.
Okay, I think even if like students aren't doing a argumentative paper, these types of like opposing viewpoints and issues researcher, they help you. Like if you're like, what is the other side of this topic, and you're like searching in the databases or the search engine that Jason showed us, it's a good place to start. Almost like some people use. I mean, I used to use Wikipedia for that. Like I wouldn't cite Wikipedia. I wouldn't use that as my source because usually I wasn't allowed. But I would just use it to like get a baseline of information on the topic and look for and find keywords or even aspects of the topic I didn't even realize yet. And then I would go to the library databases and search those things. So I like, it popped. Did you end your
sorry.
share?
Yeah, I think I did.
And while you're doing that, I see Trev saying no assignment yet. Just remember, you're probably here for a pretty good chunk of time, right? You're probably going to take an ENC course if you haven't yet. You're probably going to have to take some general ed courses. And, I don't want to frighten you, but you will have to be doing some research assignments in there. So whatever you're remembering now and watching now, yes, you're going to get your credit for your IDS courses. Just keep this in mind because I guarantee you, there's no way that you can get a transfer degree or an AA or any of these degrees, AS, without taking ENC 1101 or a history course or something. You have to take the gen ed required courses. So just keep that in mind because we're teaching you tonight, not only now, but when you transfer. How many of you are planning on transferring and getting a 4-year degree? Put it in the chat, a yes or a no. Even when you go into the workforce, guess what? You're still going to, and we see the yeses blowing up the chat, right? So we're trying to help you there. If you direct connect to UCF, boom. If you go, to UF or FSU, you're still going to have to do some research. So we want to help you with that, okay? Okay.
Right, so opposing viewpoints.
Great.
Yeah, so we're still in that same area of the news and current events in the databases. But down here, we have this other database, opposing viewpoints, that's kind of comparable to that SIRS knowledge source, SIRS issues researcher. database. And it's also a very good place to begin if you're looking for a topic. They kind of do the same sort of thing. If you scroll down, you're going to see some different issues, categories that you can choose from. And sometimes those are really helpful. Or you could come to the bottom right corner there where it says browse all issues, and you have the same sort of options here. They're going to have the same kind of things. Do they have a section on homework? I'm so curious now.
I think so.
They have homeschooling, but I don't see homework.
They don't have homework.
And by the way, if we are doing the comparison, I really want to point out some specifics here. Ross
Please.
talked about 2019 and the other newspaper article. Clearly we're in 2022 now. But depending on what your discipline is, you really want the most up-to-date information. You'll notice here, and it's funny because I kind of prefer opposing viewpoints, but I'm not trying to sell you all on it. But you notice the little indicator there of updated. That's very important. That helps you because you want to get this information quickly, efficiently, and effectively. You don't want to sit there and search and go have a freak moment and be like, oh, I hate research. We do still need to do it, but you can see that's updated, and maybe that helps get you there quicker because maybe your professor, once again, in the assignment says, I need an article within this date range, and that you'll have to follow those instructions to get the high marks.
Speaking of enjoying research, as much as you can, pick topics that you even have 1 ounce of interest in, because we all have been to the bottom of the internet searching for something that we were interested in. Now at school, it's a little bit, okay, I don't have less to pick from. It's not just like my personal stuff, but you can always pick a topic for an assignment, usually that you have some interest, even a kernel of interest. Do it, okay?
Right.
It'll be more
either
fun.
goes with your discipline or something that you're interested in learning more
passionate
about.
So many people, every time, and I don't usually help students a lot. I'm in the behind the scenes, but when I do help students, I swear almost every time they end up telling me their life story because they're working on a paper and they were able to pick a topic that they personally related to, and they're so passionate about it. And it's hard and difficult, and school is supposed to be hard. That's how you grow. That's how you get better at things. But they're passionate about it. Makes a big difference.
You're right. And then once again, I'm just going to say the caveat, make sure that in the assignment, it says you get to pick. And most of the times, to Nicole's point, you do get to pick. I'd say 90% of the time, the student gets to pick. Mostly you have to turn in your topic. So on that note, my friends, listen, always have a B, always have a backup just in case. Because you might go, I'm going to do this. I know what topic I'm going to do. It's going to be so easy. And then you get in there and you're like, that's the topic. That's the research. Oh my God, what did I do? And by that time, maybe it's too late. So have a B and maybe have a C. Maybe have if all else fails, I'm going to do it on, XYZ so-and-so. But Ross, let's pick internet. Let's see what internet is.
By the way, I did find one on homework.
Yeah, I knew it was in there.
But yeah, let's look at internet. So similar kind of thing here. When you go to opposing viewpoints, it's going to give you this big overview of the issue. I mean, it might tell you some of the kind of the controversies in it. It'll give you this timeline of how the internet unfolded and issues with privacy and data use and all this. This is a great way to familiarize yourself with your topic. I mean, I'll go through here and I'll start taking notes. And I can start going, well, okay, that's an interesting idea. Maybe I want to track that down. Or that's a word I hadn't thought of to describe this topic. Or maybe that's an angle I want to go in with my whole paper, So that's a really great place to start, is by just looking at that overview.
Right.
And then you'll start to come down here and you'll see right off the bat, you have a really wide range of sources. You have everything from newspapers and magazines and even some recommended websites. It's a great place to go for some statistics and for visual aids. There's a lot of images and videos and stuff. I get a lot of students from speech classes that I work with who need visual aids. And this is a really great place to find them for a lot of those argumentative speeches that they give too. I also really kind of like these viewpoints sources that you'll see, which are a little different than most other things. They happen to come from this Opposing Viewpoints book series. And if you look down here, you'll see that breadth of sources here. But when you start looking at these viewpoints, those are where you're going to get the argumentative stuff. Now you have to be able to use book chapters in your project. So that's something to consider still, but you can kind of see what people are arguing in here. So as you're choosing a topic or deciding at least a direction to go with a topic, you can kind of see like, oh, maybe the government takeover of broadband will not close the digital divide.
Now,
so
on that note, really quick, Ross, that is that exact slant that the author is saying, because we don't know the answer to that question, whether it's posed as a question or not. We don't know the government takeover of broadband will or will not. That's what they're arguing for. You see the tone in that, even the title of that. So when you're thinking of your paper and the tone, when I say tone, how does it read? Meaning DJ Khaled, another one. Here's another reason, and another reason, and another reason, right? And so keep that in mind. Thank you, Ross.
And like down here beneath it, you see there's an article kind of similar to it, but they're arguing that the federal and state programs that are tackling broadband will like actually fix the inequity. Whereas this one's saying it's not. They're saying it will not help the digital divide, which is inequality and that kind of stuff there. So you'll get all different sides of these issues. But like Jason was just saying, like you can choose the ones that will help you build your case, so to speak. You'll find evidence in these sources that you might be able to use. So if you just choose one, I'll pick the first one that we hit on there. Similar kinds of things that we saw. But I really like these article commentaries. Most every article has those. And they're going to give you kind of this breakdown. Like, as you read this article, here's some things to consider. And I'll use those too. As I'm developing my points, I might go, yeah, that is something I want to consider. And I think I want to find more sources that work towards that and so on. So really great way to develop your ideas too. Even if you have an idea already of where you want to go with it, this is a good way to fine tune it. And then just like we saw before, up in this top header bar kind of thing, you have all those same options. You can print anything you want. You can download. You can save stuff to it. You can send any email address. I've experimented a little bit with saving stuff to my OneDrive, and it works just fine too, if that's a preference that you have. And the more I think about that, the more I kind of like having everything organized in my drive where I have all of my files and stuff. And then there's your citation stuff again. Same options, MLA, APA. You might even get into Chicago someday. Probably not Harvard so much, at least it's Seminole State. But
that's
this
APA.
APA. But see, look at that.
No bueno. No good. It's incorrect. No, I take points off, my friends. I take points off, but I don't grade. I try to help you guys get the A+, but I'm saying all of you, many of you answered yes, that you're going to the next level. You're going to transfer. The higher you get up, junior, senior, whatever, I imagine professors may ding you on points wise if your citations are not correct. Think of the citation the same way as your social security number or your driver's license number. If I change one of those numbers by 1, is that still you? Or is it the person next? Well, it's the person next to you because you have a specific set of numbers. These citations are specific and they are according to the certain standards that you're using in your class, meaning APA or MLA. And if you do not follow those, it's the same thing as if I want to write you a check for 1.00, meaning $1, and I go, whoops, I put the decimal point in the wrong place. Now I just wrote you a check for $100, right? 100.00. So you really want to make sure that every one of these is correct. If you have a question and you don't know, ask a librarian.
Hey guys, before we get to the, we have to pause for a quick commercial break from our sponsor. Sorry, we have to do this.
No, don't do it. Please don't do it.
I thought this thing had music.
Oh, don't do it.
No, I'm not going to put your meme up there, Jason.
Thank you. Boom.
I promise.
Boom. Theme show music.
Come to NIGHTBRARY. It's so fun.
There's I'm Rally. I'm a bird with glasses. Theme song. Discord.
Wait, that's Raider Connect.
Oh, boom.
That's our Raider. I think that's the Raider Connect. Scan now.
You guys they paid us $1 billion for this advertising space. So thank you very much for allowing that to happen.
I'm calling Rob Ware. I'm like, where's the music? I thought there was music on there. We had to narrate it. Okay.
So anyway. Ross, can you pull back up? Let's look at one more thing. Certainly. Can you pull back opposing viewpoints? Go back to the general overview. So the reason I picked internet, my friends, is because a moment ago we had general accounting and we wanted to start very broad, but I think we can all agree that internet, what specific are you talking about, dude? What do you mean? How do I narrow that down? So if you can see my hands here. Oh, there's an announcement in the library.
Oh,
is that it? Is it over?
Okay.
You really want to start your searches very wide. And then as you realize what that information is that comes up on the results, now you start narrowing it down. It's just like if you're going to buy shoes. You can't just go to Amazon.com and put in shoes and you get the exact color, shape, size, overnight shipping, model, all of that stuff, right? You can't do it. You have to do the same thing we just did a moment ago. And on the left-hand side, usually you go, oh, color, male, a 9.5. I want red. No, I want blue. Nike. No, I want Puma. So this is the same thing. So don't think that college research is some, reinventing the wheel. But Ross, if you have that page pulled up, I just wanted to point out.
Sure.
So if you scroll back up, opposing viewpoints, SIRS, Nicole had mentioned Wikipedia. Many of these are introductory, actually, to the internet one.
The internet. Okay, got you. So we want to go back to that page.
Because these are giving us very general overviews of the topic. And I want to share with you, I was talking about tone earlier, and Ross was mentioning that too. Where did it go?
Did I go too far now?
I think so. And then and the breadcrumbs there, if you scroll back up, it should just say internet. If you scroll on the left, next of you, yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Now read more. So this, if you read the tone of this, it starts off with what? The definition. Now, I'm not telling all of you how to write an exact college research paper for every one of your classes. That's not what's happening here. But if you look at what this article says, here's the introduction of what the topic is. As you scroll down in the blue, you see there are some main ideas for what this topic is. And then, yes, there is a timeline, which is what? There's a little header there. So you can see clearly at this stage, let's face it, we're all in college, right? The early developments are going to be in the ensuing paragraphs. Now, what would be under the use of the internet? Clearly that. So you want to keep that sort of mentality as you're writing your paper, because as you see here, this is crystal clear. You know exactly what's coming and when. And even as you scroll down to the bottom, if you miss the citation button in the upper right-hand corner, you'll still be able to see the citation, which we still had a little problem with on the APA. I can help you fix it. But I wanted to ask you a pop quiz. If you scroll back up to the top, there's some other articles on the right-hand side. Since we're talking about technology and internet, let me ask you the second topic from 2013. Put in the chat, yes, do you think that's current and ready to go? Or no, do you think 2013 for the topic of the internet is too old and that you argue at least something has changed in those years? Yes or no? Yes, should we keep this? Or no, it's too old, that article, the 2013.
Carrie and Trevor say no. And Victoria too.
Good. Right?
And Zoe.
And we talked about that,
know.
right? And that's what we want. You really want to make sure, because we want the, same, when COVID came out, what are the numbers now? What are the numbers now in 2022? Well, when it happened 2 years ago, those numbers now really don't have the same urgency and impact, right? A hurricane that's maybe say 3 or 4 weeks away from the state of Florida. Yes, very important, but keep that in mind when you're looking at this information. A good rule of thumb is 3 to 5 years. But if you're in a history class and you're reading a book from 1920 about George Washington, clearly, there may be new research coming up all the time, but you want to look discipline by discipline on what that date is. And some of the other ones didn't look so good either. 2015 didn't look good.
2010.
Yeah. And so think about what the 2010 one says. UAE internet users internet privacy. Well, that was 12 years ago. Something has to have changed. So keep the dates in mind. Keep also who the author is. Keep also in mind, where am I getting this from? Because Ross, if you go to a general internet search and type in the word internet, let's see how many results come up.
This will be fun.
Okay, can anyone count that high? Anyone at all?
Something like, is that 21 billion?
That's a lot. And as you scroll down here briefly, you see you're going to get a map of local things, and then there's our definition, and then where's our ads here? What do we have next? Oh, Wikipedia, right? Because they're brothers and sisters. Wikipedia and Google, they're in cahoots. Top stories. And then the definition. Now they're trying to sell you stuff. So again, if you did have the topic of internet, hey, more power to you, because you're really going to have to narrow that down. Just like accounting, forensic science, psychology, and everything else you all put in there. So there is a method to our madness, right? You should start wide. But as we saw with general, maybe we don't need general. And here's another thing. When you're writing in your college searches, try not to do the Google mentality, meaning don't put in what is the end of the internet, or where did the internet begin? You know, just internet beginnings, or just, you know, you just want those little, you don't want what we call stop words. You don't want the, and, but, or general in the case that we saw before. And then at the same time, you look at the results, keep narrowing it down, and then eventually you'll get to where you want to be. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have any specific things that they want to put in the chat? Or I see some no's there. Are you guys good?
Oh no, they were saying, answering your question.
Oh, don't keep it. Don't keep it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Good. That's good. Keep all that in mind, because when you're evaluating, you know, it's just like 2:00 in the morning. Somebody knocks on your door. Do you guys just open the door and go, hey, come on in, let's have a party, stranger? Like, what's up? Like, no, you're always like, who is it? Who's at the door? At least that's how I do it.
Or you just hide and don't say anything.
Hey, both would be good forms of evaluation, wouldn't they? You'd be judging the information and saying, I'm not doing it. But if anyone has any specific questions, or if you think this has been good and helpful, give us a thumbs up or a yes. You know, this is a general overview here.
And I'm also putting the attendance URL into the private chat. Jan M is watching, and I went ahead and I marked her as attended, Jan, on Radar Connect. So you should be good to go, because we can't post that URL just willy-nilly on the internet. Everyone to be like, you had 500 people come to Research Rally on June 28th. Like, I don't know. I guess we did.
There you go, Minerva. Good.
So if that link doesn't work, I'll double check. I got your name, so I'll make sure that everyone gets logged in.
And keep us posted, because we may be in some of your IDS courses. Are we the librarians in any of your courses? I'm not sure. I didn't know if we sent any names out of who your professors are. You might not know them yet. It's still too early in the term, but let us know, because we are embedded in your Canvas course shells. You can send us DMs. You can use the inbox in the Canvas feature. I'm looking at Minerva, Victoria, Carrie, Zoe, Trevor. Let us know. And also, Trevor, were you the same Trevor that joined our library Discord earlier? Did we get you on the Discord? Yeah, nice. Rock and roll. So if anyone else wants to join that too, we do have that. You could scan the QR code on the poster that we have, and that poster is where you signed up in Radar Connect. So we can do it that way too. Keep the conversation going. So hopefully this has been helpful. I don't see any specific questions in there. Many of you, I'm sure, just wanted to get your credit, which is totally cool. Yeah. I do want to let you know that we will be having, if you make it to campus, if you're at the SLM campus, Sanford Lake Mary, we do have programming on Wednesdays. Wednesday nights, we have NIGHTBRARY. So we play board games, we have karaoke. We also have Xbox video games. Yeah, we do a lot of different things. So you can, again, get credit for coming out, meet other students, meet your peers, meet the librarians, and all that fun stuff. And if you need more follow-up help after this, Nicole's going to let you know about our research appointment. Yeah, you can make an online, in-person, phone appointment, however you want to do it. That URL right there, sem.state or .st/lib. -appts, or if you go to the Google Seminole State Library, go to our homepage and search appointments, or search research appointments on the Seminole State website, you'll find us. Of course, you can always go on 24/7 chat and be like, hey, where do I find appointments? All that stuff. You'll sniff it out. Yeah, thank you for joining us tonight. Also, let us know if you have trouble with attendance. I'm going to check and make sure everyone's in, because I got these 4 names down. Okay. So we appreciate you. Yeah. Thank you for being here. Again, we're here to help you succeed in class. We do not grade your papers. We want to make sure that we're helping you. So if you need to set an appointment up, if you want to drop into the library, if you want to send us a DM afterwards, you can do that through the Canvas. Just find our names, or, just send us a shout. Go on the Discord, join us on Discord there. But thank you, Minerva. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you. Who else did we have here? I lost the names here. Zoe, Carrie, Victoria, Jan. Thank you so much. All right, we'll be doing another research rally maybe next month, I think, something like that. Yeah, I think we're having at the end of the month next month. Super. Good feedback. Thank you. Nice meeting all of you. We'll see you again soon. We're the librarians. This is Ross and Nicole and Jason, and this has been our research rally. Thanks for watching. Fun, y'all.